everyone. Today on Red Ink, we're going to cover how to get your emotions onto the page and not over-explain. It really is about trusting your reader. So let's dig into it. I'm going to cover 5 ways that you can actually help your reader feel emotionally connected to what you're writing. This is really important for when you're trying to create an immersive type manuscript that's going to really hook your readers and keep them engaged and invested in what you're writing. You don't ever want a writer or reader to close your book and then set it down and walk away unless you have a really compelling way for them to, a reason for them to pick that book back up and to get back into the manuscript. And so I always tell people, if they've put the book down, what are you giving them to make sure that they open it back up? If you create a slow spot or a low point in your book, if there's not a real drive for them to pick that book up, you might lose them. So you don't want to do that. So these are the top 5 ways that you can really emotionally engage with your reader and make sure that they stay connected with you and that you don't treat them like they're dumb, because readers are not dumb. They can actually understand a lot more than a lot of writers like to give them credit for. So the first thing I want to talk about is this show don't tell. Show don't tell is a literal thing. Instead of writing like she was heartbroken or she was crying or she felt her heart explode or something like that. What you want to do is you want to create a situation where you are giving actions that your reader can relate to. Now, I have a problem with a lot of authors who tend to just tell people what's happening in their manuscript. And granted, sometimes you want to do that just to kind of keep the pacing going, but a lot of times it's better to just explain or show what a character is doing. We're all human. We all kind of have these same behaviors that are universal across cultures, across experiences, perspectives. We all kind of do the same things when it comes to our feelings and the way we react to things. So tell us what those things are. Show us what those things are. Readers can't jump into each other's minds. So what you're going to do is you're going to tell us what that reader or what that main point of view is seeing or reacting to, so that we can then interpret with that main character what they're interacting to. A really great resource that I always recommend to a lot of my writers is the Emotion Thesaurus. I love these books. There's a whole set of them. If you haven't heard of these before, you should get yourself the set. They're amazing. But this is my favorite one. When you're lost or you don't know how a character should react or how they are going to be feeling, this thesaurus is hands down probably one of my all-time favorite resources. If say a character's feeling insecure, it's going to tell you not only the physical signals and behaviors of that feeling, but also like the mental responses, long-term responses, signs that the emotion is being suppressed, and so on. So this is a really great resource. Show, don't tell. Okay, number 2, use subtext like a pro. So dialogue doesn't have to spell things out. Like I said, the best lines are really the ones that say one thing and they mean another. So this can actually, be interpreted as somewhat sarcastic or whatever. But what it does is it leads the reader to feel tension. It creates this reaction, where you're like squirming a little bit. So, do those things that are kind of subtle. Let your reader do the math. Let them read between the lines. It's really important that you give your reader the chance to figure things out and connect the dots. Connect the dots. Okay. So number 3, cut the explainers. Like, get rid of them. Go away. If your sentence includes because she felt or he was angry because, so he did this, there's a good chance you've already told us that. This is like a repetition thing. A lot of editors, if they're good editors, are going to be cutting this stuff out. And a lot of times when I'm doing this with my readers or with my writers, they tend to get a little bit offended. I took, a week to figure out and craft that sentence, and it's really hard to explain to them that was repetitious. So, just keep that in mind. If this is something that's repeating something that's already been done or said, don't slow the manuscript up by re-explaining it. Don't try to tell us what you think we need to know, because in case we missed it, this happened. Believe you me when I tell you this, your readers already know. So don't worry about it. Number 4, make the setting work for you. So the room, the weather, silence, those are all things that set a tone. Let your environment carry the weight of emotion that could be felt or needs to be felt in that scene. So a good example of this is when you watch, you can watch this, watch movies, and a lot of times I got a good example. How about this? In the Friends episode, it's kind of over the top, but it's funny. When in Friends, when Joey and Chandler are fighting and they are separated from each other, Joey has gotten himself a new apartment and Chandler and Joey feel both very lonely. There's this moment where they're kind of like looking out the window in their respective apartments, and it's raining and there's just music playing in the background. It's really kind of one of those moments where the emotion that they're feeling is being illustrated from the rain pouring down the windows and their longing looks out the window. You can create that kind of same tone when you're writing a book. When you're setting a scene and you have outside influences that can help really kind of put the weight on the scene. Let that happen. It really does help. All right. So leave space for the reader's heartbeat. This is number 5. Your job isn't really to force a reaction. You really can't force a reaction. It's your job is really to open up the reader to an experience or perspective that you're trying to help them see. But you can do that by creating something that's relatable. The most powerful moments in books are the ones that the writer didn't even have to spell out. They're things that we kind of just intuitively can remember in our own lives, things that we can probably relate to because it's something that we've all felt at one time or another in some way or another. So leave space for those to happen without trying to force it. All right. So those are the 5 things I'm giving you today. That's a lot of homework, but if you want your writing to hit harder, try saying less. Writing with restraint, but also with trust, is going to actually endure you more with your readers. So those are my tips today, and I hope you have a great weekend. Have an awesome writing experience. And if you need more help, you can hit me up at editsbystacey.com, where I can give you more tips and tricks to your writing.